Hello, I am Mike Hentges, President of Alliance for Shared Health, sitting today with Derik Scott, one of our Healthy Foundation coaches, and we're going to have a conversation around nutrition, mostly things that I've discovered over the past 10 years in my life trying to reclaim my health, and we're just going to kick around some ideas here about eating philosophies, types of foods that we eat, and everything in between. So, Derik, good to be with you today.
Mike, it's great to be here. This is a subject matter that I absolutely love to discuss, so I'm excited.
As I have read and learned that stress plays such an important part on our health, we know the effects it can have, but also, in particular, I've read that if you are stressed, our body receives the same chemical signals from our brain to tell us that we are getting ready to face something difficult. We are getting ready to face a famine or a cold winter. The same responses that our ancestors received when they were facing a true famine or a true cold winter. So the stresses that we feel today from our daily jobs, I understand, mimic those same responses that our brains send out. So when we're stressed, we can't lose weight. Our body is protecting us. And sometimes we're at battle with our body, but our body's only protecting us from that perceived famine, from the stresses that we feel. So that helped me understand that I shouldn't be mad at myself and mad at my body. I need to figure out a way to reduce that stress because, again, I tend to oversimplify things, but I tell myself if I'm stressed, I can't lose weight.
Yeah, so this is something that we talk about. So your body's overall stress intake is called its allostatic load. It's the total amount of stress that your body takes in roughly a day, right? So that's everything from distress, which is terrible stress, to eustress, which can be very pleasant stress, roller coasters, skydiving, snowboarding, whatever that may be. So it's not necessarily good or bad, but your overall allostatic load can have a huge effect on you. And then, like you were saying, to bring this contemporary, the stress spike that I have from a terrible email could be the exact same physiologically inside my body that I would be to facing a lion. And those are going to do a lot of different things. And if your allostatic load is just super high, your cortisol is going to be way too high. Your stress hormones are going to be way too high. And it can make it extremely difficult to have optimal body composition or to achieve better health, right? Maybe not even optimal body composition, just to lose a little weight, feel a little bit better, have a little bit more energy if your stress is too high. So for us, bringing that mindfulness practice, and it can be something so simple as when I brew my coffee in the morning, I'm going to meditate and simply watch my coffee brew. And that can be a very small thing that alleviates and brings down your overall stress input. Or like you were talking about, just these mindfulness practices where you're acutely present can bring the overall stress load down significantly. And not to get too granola-y, but if you bring in some form of meditation, same thing here. We live in a very high stress environment. If I just bring in 5 minutes of meditation in my life, and it doesn't have to be this woo-woo crazy meditation, it can be simply 5 minutes of where I let my brain go completely. I can make some noises, I can do something, and I just kind of zone out. And there's a million different ways to do that. And you got to kind of find what works for you, but it can bring that stress down to where you can have better health. You can look better, feel better, perform a little bit better.
Excellent. Well, Derik, I want to thank you for your time again today that we've had a chance to discuss these topics with our audience here. Again, for Alliance for Shared Health, I am Mike Hentges, along with our Healthy Foundation's coach, Derik Scott, and we wish you good health.